Mhm. Mm. Binaries. Oh no. So much. Mhm, 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 mhm. Oh, dar. DLL problem. Internal. Python 311 DLL. Mm-hmm. You run. Tinker.com. Ah, you're corrupt. You've corrupted. Well, that would do it. Yeah, that would do it. There's a pocket lift. Okay. There's an AM UE mat. Oh, Tinker's not in here. That's crap. Oh, that's why. You failed Tinker Dot. Import Tinker as TK as included as our first import statement. Beep. Ow. Skadoosh. There's a class. There's a def. Def doesn't need to be on that class. And you don't like that either. Oh, no. No, no, no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. It's not good. I fixed a def. Def cell. Not good. 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 Not good. Not good. That is the worst. Oh, that's 5 suburb errors. We have a code break, 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 break. He says you break here, but you don't. Yeah, you do. You broke. Ark. There's a cell. Okay. That's gonna be our attempt 1. Yeah. Convert. I need to skim through this. Unsafe. Unsafe. You're the correct. TLC here. TK. It's already done. All right. Strict permission. Permissions. I'm gonna adjust the permissions of program files. We'll go to Jarvis. Or RS toward Jarvis. We'll go down here. New folder will be called out. Kidoki. Fixed. Now the permissions. Advanced. I'm not in developer mode. That's what it was. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey. Jarvis. Output. Select. Convert. Output. Developing codes and doing all things 'cause life is strange. It didn't include my file. Internal. Okay. Hold on. Aha. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa. This is getting very sloppy. Okay. Control Shift Z. Okay. We'll just repaste you in there. There. Done. All the assets work and it will still fail. Okay. Internal needs to be adjusted. Control M. Set control N. Control N. Control N. Plus icon. We'll do it the old school way. C drive. No, 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 no. Yes. Plugin no be lib tinker. Let's get jiggy with it. Let's get jiggy with it. Let's go to my other software. Let's go to my workstation tool, has tinker in it. And there you are. And there's TK. Oh, thank God I have viruses. Amazing. Because when I got viruses way back in the day, I had to reinstall Windows, and I compiled my workstation tool, which uses Tinker as TK. And if I didn't have compiled my workstation tool into a setup.exe, I wouldn't have my Tinker and Tinker. So now I have a copy of Tinker and TCL in Win32. Awesome. Okay. I have numpy output fill piece to tile. I win setup tool distribution info. And there it is. PLC TK and Python 311 DLL, Python 3 DLL, TK86 DLL, and TK or TCL DLL. All right. Well, can we not do that again? Thank you. Unicode, uninstall data, uninstaller, Win32. I need TK's Python. There it is. Wow. Look at that. All of my source files ready to go. Hit Control C. Go to my Jarvis output folder. Go to internal. There's Tinker underscore Tinker. Not the correct Tinker. Paste. Replace. Awesome. Where's the TCL? Okay. Now you should have all the components to run. I'm a genius. I'm a genius. Clap, 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 dude. Oh my gosh. Why, though, is the compiler not compiling the proper distributions? I can't believe it. It works. That's a Windows application, guys. And boy, does it look good. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. All right. Now we copy our. Oof. Okay, think with the brain. So we have another problem. Updating this to compile with a sub process. Thank God my workstation. Dude, my workstation tool, I literally put in Tinker, psutal, pill, numpy, data, all of that, just in case I needed it in the future. And it actually was needed today. This is my developer tool that I created. And it runs on Windows for software development. Oh my gosh, dude, this tool, man. If you're a software developer, you need to go to my Discord, get it, dude. You'll love it. It is just the ultimate answer. Ultimate answer. Okay, we're gonna go to output and then go to version 3. And theoretically, if I copy and paste the internal to the internal, all right, so what I'm going to do is copy this. All right, Control C. We're going to do another big brain move here. And hit continue. That says a copy. Now I'm going to rename this to version 4 so I don't screw up version 3 because I'm going to screw something up. I have to. Okay. So then what I need to do is go back to, you can be minimized. All right. We're going to take everything in your internals, copy you to version 4 internals, and replace files and hit continue. Do this for all. I saw big boy. Okay. All right. Then we need to go into our internal and go to our RS-Tor folder and copy it. Then we need to replace that file destination, hit continue, and everything is loaded. All right, next, step 1, remove the log file. Yes, go back to Mission Planner version 1, grab this guy, okay, and then go back into version 4, excuse me, and then paste it. Theoretically, this should run. And it does. And this should run at the same time. It does not. Okay. That's because this file is using this file. No. Permission denied. Oh. Okay. I need to. Where's my test bed? Here, I made a test bed in Jarvis. It was the test bed empty. All right, we're going to remove the test bed empty and copy RS. And this is our test bed. We're going to place it in our test bed here. All right, now this should run. It does. And this should run at the same time. And it does. Would you just look at that? Would you just look at that? It just works. It just works. Version 4 is ready for release. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is WinRAR this, add to archive. Nope. Right, what I need to do is inside of this here Sucka McTrucka, I am going to put tutorial videos for everybody so they can use the application. And yes, guys, I made this application. Right. So let's open up OBS Studio. Let's close all of my development tools. We're done with that. Don't care about this version. Okay. We're gonna just close that and that and that and that and no. Hold on. Test bed. Okay. And now it should work. Okay. Okay. Good. Good, good, good. I want to make sure that they both run at the same time. Oh, good. Good, 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 good. Oh, that is wicked. Oh, that is so wicked. It is wicked. It is so wickedness. Oh, that is so wicked, wickedness. Oh, so wicked. I'm sorry, I'm just geeking because I made this and it's so insane. It's so insane. It's so insane. It's just so insane. How do I say this? It's so insane. It's so insane. It's just so insane. It's so insane. Alright. Alright. Start. My microphone is muted. My microphone is no longer muted. Okay. I'm going to make a tutorial video on everything. And keep it in there. For you. Windows Defender. So people can help. Okay. Alright. So if they run into the Windows Defender issue, which I'm still trying to solve, because, you know, Mahusa, I'm gonna go change my coils. I'll be right back. We're going on intermission.
10. This is Mission Control Houston.
Roger, roll, Discovery.
Discovery's roll maneuver is complete. It is now in a heads-down position on track for its flight to the International Space Station. Discovery flying 365 miles per hour, 1.5 miles in altitude, 7 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center. Discovery's engines are throttling down as the orbiter passes through the area of maximum pressure on the vehicle.
Journey to shore up the International Space Station. Atlantis now in the proper alignment for its 8.5-minute ride to orbit, 4.5 million pounds of hardware and humans taking aim on the International Outpost. 30 seconds into the flight, Atlantis almost 2 miles in altitude, almost 6 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center already, traveling 500 miles an hour. The 3 liquid fuel main engines now throttling back to 72% of rated performance, going into the bucket, reducing the stress on the shuttle as it breaks through the sound barrier.
All systems on the spacecraft are go. 1.5 minutes since liftoff, Atlantis has already burned more than 2.25 million pounds of propellant and weighs less than half of what it did at launch. Atlantis altitude 84,000 feet, 12 miles northeast of the Kennedy Space Center. Atlantis speed now 2,200 miles an hour. Flight controllers are standing by for burnouts and separation of the twin solid rocket boosters. Booster officer confirms a good separation and jettison of the twin solid rockets. Atlantis now in its second stage. Its 3 main engines continuing to operate well at full throttle.
Atlantis performance nominal.
And we see nothing that's abnormal whatsoever, Chili. And the Earth looks just as beautiful as it always did.
10. This is Mission Control Houston.
Roger, roll, Discovery.
Discovery's roll maneuver is complete. It is now in a heads-down position on track for its flight to the International Space Station. Discovery flying 365 miles per hour, 1.5 miles in altitude, 7 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center. Discovery's engines are throttling down as the orbiter passes through the area of maximum pressure on the vehicle.
Journey to shore up the International Space Station. Atlantis now in the proper alignment for its 8.5-minute ride to orbit, 4.5 million pounds of hardware and humans taking aim on the International Outpost. 30 seconds into the flight, Atlantis almost 2 miles in altitude, almost 6 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center already, traveling 500 miles an hour. Liquid fuel main engines now throttling back to 72% of rated performance, going into the bucket, reducing the stress on the shuttle as it breaks through the sound barrier.
All systems on the spacecraft are go. 1.5 minutes since liftoff, Atlantis has already burned more than 2.25 million pounds of propellant and weighs less than half of what it did at launch. Atlantis altitude 84,000 feet, 12 miles northeast of the Kennedy Space Center. Atlantis speed now 2,200 miles an hour. Flight controllers are standing by for burnout and separation of the twin solid rocket boosters. Booster officer confirms a good separation and jettison of the twin solid rockets. Atlantis now on its second stage. Its 3 main engines continuing to operate well at full throttle.
Atlantis performance nominal.
And we see nothing that's abnormal whatsoever, Chili. And the Earth looks just as beautiful as it always did.
This
10.
is Mission Control Houston.
Roger, roll, Discovery.
Discovery's roll maneuver is complete. It is now in a heads-down position on track for its flight to the International Space Station. Discovery flying 365 miles per hour, 1.5 miles in altitude, 7 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center. Discovery's engines are throttling down as the orbiter passes through the area of maximum pressure on the vehicle.
Journey to shore up the International Space Station. Atlantis now in the proper alignment for its 8.5-minute ride to orbit, 4.5 million pounds of hardware and humans taking aim on the International Outpost. 30 seconds into the flight, Atlantis almost 2 miles in altitude, almost 6 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center already, traveling 500 miles an hour. The 3 liquid fuel main engines now throttling back to 72% of rated performance, going into the bucket, reducing the stress on the shuttle as it breaks through the sound barrier.
All systems on the spacecraft are go. 1.5 minutes since liftoff, Atlantis has already burned more than 2.25 million pounds of propellant and weighs less than half of what it did at launch. Atlantis altitude 84,000 feet, 12 miles northeast of the Kennedy Space Center. Atlantis speed now 2,200 miles an hour. Flight controllers are standing by for burnout and separation of the twin solid rocket boosters. Booster officer confirms a good separation and jettison of the twin solid rockets. Atlantis now on its second stage. Its 3 main engines continuing to operate well at full throttle.
Atlantis performance nominal.
And we see nothing that's abnormal whatsoever, Chili. And the Earth looks just as beautiful as it always did.
10.
This is Mission Control Houston.
Roger, roll, Discovery.
Discovery's roll maneuver is complete. It is now in a heads-down position on track for its flight to the International Space Station. Discovery flying 365 miles per hour, 1.5 miles in altitude, 7 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center. Discovery's engines are throttling down as the orbiter passes through the area of maximum pressure on the vehicle.
Journey to shore up the International Space Station. Atlantis now in the proper alignment for its 8.5-minute ride to orbit, 4.5 million pounds of hardware and humans taking aim on the International Outpost. 30 seconds into the flight, Atlantis almost 2 miles in altitude, almost 6 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center already, traveling 500 miles an hour. The 3 liquid fuel main engines now throttling back to 72% of rated performance, going into the bucket, reducing the stress on the shuttle as it breaks through the sound barrier.
All systems on the spacecraft are go. 1.5 minutes since liftoff, Atlantis has already burned more than 2.25 million pounds of propellant and weighs less than half of what it did at launch. Atlantis altitude 84,000 feet, 12 miles northeast of the Kennedy Space Center. Atlantis speed now 2,200 miles an hour. Flight controllers are standing by for burnout and separation of the twin solid rocket boosters. Booster officer confirms a good separation and jettison of the twin solid rockets. Atlantis now on its second stage. Its 3 main engines continuing to operate well at full throttle.
Atlantis performance nominal.
And we see nothing that's abnormal whatsoever, Chili. And the Earth looks just as beautiful as it always did.
10. This is Mission Control Houston.
Roger, roll, Discovery.
Discovery's roll maneuver is complete. It is now in a heads-down position on track for its flight to the International Space Station. Discovery flying 365 miles per hour, 1.5 miles in altitude, 7 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center. Discovery's engines are throttling down as the orbiter passes through the area of maximum pressure on the vehicle.
Journey to shore up the International Space Station. Atlantis now in the proper alignment for its 8.5-minute ride to orbit, 4.5 million pounds of hardware and humans taking aim on the International Outpost. 30 seconds into the flight.
Hello, welcome to this tutorial video. I'm going to show you how to use Rocket Science Tour, and I'm gonna be pretty, fluent about it, quick. And so if you do get a false discrepancy, discrepancy is how the files are structured can look like a virus, but it's not. So you'll go to Virus and Threat Protection, and you'll go to Protection History, And if it quarantines your threat there, you can go ahead and restore it. So this is an older version that my antivirus picked up, so you can go ahead and restore it. You can go back and you can go to allowed threats, and you can see the details, and I don't know what that is. But anyway, this is, I guess, from another. Yeah, it's from another. I was doing a lot of testing on my program. But yeah, it's just false discrepancies right now. And if you look up like the mal agent and you look at Waka, and you can just Google it and see that usually it's nothing unless you can see some patterns and stuff. So my software is clean. I can't tell you. I can't tell you any more than I can tell you. So it's up to you to trust it. I can't force you to do anything, but that's how you do it. So you would just allow it to go through. I'm going to show you how to use it now. So inside of Rocket Science Tour, you're going to open it up. And you can go ahead here and take the Rocket Science Tour. If you hit Alt, right Alt and Enter at the same time, it'll go full screen. And you can click on Mercury, Venus, and Mars. Now, if you click on a planet and then click on it again, it will close its tab, and those tabs will stay open in version 4. You open up your mission planner software. This is for in-game. This will work in real solar system on Kerbal. You'll click on Mercury and you'll enter the date in the format of month, day, and year here. So let's just say it's 06, 15, 1994. And you'll hit calculate the transfer window, and it will tell you your launch dates. So that it is. There it is. Have fun. And here's a model of the solar system. And you can kind of see if you zoom in and out with your scroll wheel, and it works really, really well. That's it. All right. So now I got that done. We can go to videos. We can go here. Edit with mini. God damn it. Okay. Hello. Welcome to the. I'm gonna be pretty, fluent about it, quick. And so if you do get a false discrepancy, a false discrepancy is how the files are structured can look like a virus, but it's not. So, all right, let's just click on that and let's cut it there. Delete this annoying intro, and then we just play it. And so if you do, can look like a virus, but it's not. So you'll go to virus and threat protection, and you'll go to protection history. And if it quarantines your threat there, you can go ahead and restore it. So this is an older version that my antivirus picked up, so you can go ahead and restore it. you can go back and you can go to allowed threats, and you can see the details. And yes, I am SpaceX. I don't know what that is. But anyway, this is, I guess, from another because people are having issues, but guess what I have added to Rocket Science Tour? Look at this. Look at it. Would you just look at it? Oh, it's so beautiful. Uh-huh. It's going to be released after I'm done with this video. Oh, thank you. You're going to love it, dude. Let's put in today. Let's put in the date in the game. Boom. You got to admit, that's just psychopathically awesome. You have to admit. Oh, man. Neptune's calculator, let me tell you about it. Nobody had made a release of the calculations for the orbital mechanics. I spent 2.5 days doing math, and I did it. I found it. No, SpaceX. You simply put in the game's date. So say we want to go to Mercury, we put in the date, the game's date in the top left. This will work for KSP-1 real solar system as well. We type in, let's just type in June 13th, 2055. Boom. And those are the days you need to launch. Yeah. It gives you the next 5 transfer windows. It calculates the time it takes to get to the planet as well. In the solar travel time. It's insanity. It's insanity. I don't think anybody's ever made something like this. And each calculator is, of course, different because each planet is different. It's absolutely wicked. So I'm going to put this tutorial video in the thing so people know how to use it. SpaceX, did your antivirus go off when you used the old version? Because I'm getting people's Windows Defender going off, then I'm getting some people's Windows Defender not going off, and it's just like really confusing. I'm just exactly right. And so let's see, Nubius's antivirus went off. 4 Atmospheres antivirus went off. Origin's antivirus didn't go off. My antivirus didn't go off. And who else? Suspended TTV, that's his name. His antivirus didn't go off. So I've got like 3 people's antivirus going off, 3 people's antivirus, including me, or 4 people, including me, antivirus not going off. It's just annoying. So I included in the, right. I included in the video how to, because 4 Atmosphere and Nubius don't know how to allow the, allow Windows Defender to like do a threat. So, and then here we go. And then I talk about that. And then, all right, I got to cut the end of the video. Launch dates. So that it is. There it is. Have fun. And here's a model of the solar system. And you can kind of see if you zoom in and out with your scroll wheel. And it works really, really well. That's it. All right. And then after that's it, I cut. All right. You zoom in and out with your scroll wheel. And it works really, really well. That's it. All right, that's it. Cut and then delete this thing and then export it at 1080p and we're good to go. And hurry up. Do your thing. I have 100 something gigabytes of RAM. Hurry the freak up. Galorge. Should not be taking this long. And there we go. 80%. And there it is. Go here. Rename this to tutorial. Oh my God. Dash help. Okay. Yeah, fuck a readme file. Let's go with the tutorial video. You know what I'm saying? Let's be geniuses, you see? Okay. So now what I'll do is I copy this and close this app and close this app. And we copied that. We go here. We go to Jarvis. We go to test bed empty. And we paste it in there. There you go. Let me go ahead and delete the log file and see if it runs. There it goes. It runs the log file. So if you have an error, guys, I want you to send me. I created a log. I've created a logging error system, and that took me like a long time. So this is the internal. This is the application's insides. This is its guts. And yeah, this took me a long time. So, you know, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right. And then we go here. We go to target science. Or sorry. Test bed empty. Number 4. Add to archive. That's a big file. Goodness. All right, then we're going to copy this and this. Take it out of the test bed. Delete version 2. It's broken. And we're going to paste them here. Excuse me. Okay, apparently you can't paste a WinRAR. Add to archive one more time. All right, and there it is. And inside of this archive is, I'm not buying it, tutorial video. Copy this. Close that garbage. Don't want to show anything in Discord. That's not good. Okay, good. I can show my screen now. paste. And because I'm talking with developer Arjun, and we can't talk about things, or we can't show you things. There are things we can't show you. Updated to V4. And here, the new and improved rocket science tour. And let's go ahead and spell today. I'm not good at typing. And now it is uploading SpaceX. I can't wait till you try it. All right, now let's tell the community. January 15 to 2024 included general V4 roads. So what you'll do, right, is you'll go down here to community tools and you'll go here and you'll follow this. So you'll follow it. You can like it. And that would be sick. Close this. Awesome. The app died. The app deleted. Go to the app deled. What do you mean deled? Because I would like somebody to test it and make sure it's running well. Because I have a bunch of PIP installs on. Oh, downloaded. Okay, got it. Are you on your computer? Are you streaming right now? Oh, you'll download it when okay. You plan on streaming today? Or shortly in 6 minutes? A snowstorm coming up. Okay. Because I'd love to go, if in 6 minutes or whenever, I'd love to just watch, before you open it, I want to watch what it does on your computer. And I want to see if it's actually tripping your antivirus. And I want to just kind of like check some things in your computer, if that's cool. And I won't stream that if you don't want to. I just wanted to see. It wouldn't take that long. I just wanted to see how it's behaving, because I haven't given it to Suspended TTV. He's a streamer who helps me with software development. I haven't given it to, he lives in India. He's asleep, and usually we test it on his Windows environment to make sure everything works. It's all right if you don't want to. Okay, it's no problem. So you said you had a rover. Let me check it out. You got screenshots of it? There it is. This guy. I like it. It's psychotic. That rover is fat, bro. He's fat. You know we have two different rover bodies, right? We have a giant rover body. You didn't know about that? Yeah. Yeah, no, this rover body's clean. It's the one I prefer too. It's the American one. The other one's the Russian version. I really like the probe that I really like the probe that he made right here. It's so clean. It's so clean. It's so clean. It's so clean. Yeah, it's nice, dude. Yeah, so it's got the docking port. So like based off real NASA mission. Let's go to school real quick. Let's see, what do we want here? Let's go to the what's it called? Rover Discovery. Yeah, Discovery. Yeah. Mars Discovery. Yeah, 2023. Okay. Staging. Stages. And let's see, rocket stages. Right here.
We've got to prepare the rover to do a lot of that stuff on its own, right? And so we've got to understand Mars. We've got to.
So basically, it kind of goes through this amazing, like it's genius because he's like basing it. He's basing it off the bulk. Let me full screen this. He's basing it off the bulk, and it's true, right? You have your decoupler here, right? And it's so clean. And so basically what's happening right now is this guy is rotating. Oh, dude, I'm not I'm not hating on your shit, dude. I'm just showing you like the real one. Yeah, I just realized that I sound like a hater right now. I'm sorry. Yeah, so basically what's happening right now is this guy is rotating because the earth is cooking this craft. And the earth is cooking it alive. So what it's doing is it's rotating it because the gamma rays are bouncing off the radiation is bouncing off the atmosphere and it's cooking this guy. So it's like a rotisserie chicken. It's just going to continue to rotate to make sure that it doesn't cook up and die. Right now it starts its burn and it goes to Mars. Now it's leaving the planet and going straight up to Mars. And so basically how it works is that guy will go to Mars. It will get orbit around Mars. And once it gets orbit around Mars, what it'll do is it'll have a communication array system to basically the hive mind to say, hello, I'm up here and I understand and I'm transmitting you rover data back to Earth. And then Earth picks up all of that data, right? And then there's other, types of satellites that are, picking that up as well. Communication array type stuff. Anyway, so once that gets orbit, what it does is it releases the pod. The pod then retrogrades away, and then shrinks down to the planet, and then it deploys its chutes inside of its pod, and then it, after it burns, right? It burns, because there's practically no atoms or molecules inside of Mars's atmosphere because it's so thin. So slowdown isn't super there. So they make a denser heat shield to pick up more molecule data. So they can basically slow down faster. If they were to do that same heat shield on Earth, it would cook the thing and destroy it, right? But in Mars, it's perfect because the heat shield pick up so much molecules to slow it down. So it's actually a lot denser and heavier of a heat shield than it is would be, applicable to Earth. God, I can't talk today. So yeah, it's really dope. And then after that, the chutes deploy, and giant chutes, by the way, because again, atmosphere, Mars, really thin, do not have good, molecules to collect in the chute to slow you down. So really giant chutes, and then once we are at a good speed, a good height, we release the rover crane system, and then it falls, and then as it's falling, it puts its boosters on and slows itself down right before it's about to touch the ground, drops the rope, and the rope then drops the rover onto the surface, and then that thing just puts the boosters on full, and it goes and shoots somewhere off in the mountains away from the rover so it doesn't explode and blow up the rover that it just dropped onto the ground. So yeah, that's like the whole kind of status of it and everything. So it's really cool to see the
used for that in-flight.
To see this guy right here and being implemented in our community with this guy right here. These are almost identical. In this little pod right here, he's probably going to put the little rover on there. And it's just so cool. It's so cool because we're going to be adding a part. So I can't tell you what it is going to be, but there's going to be a new thing. And this thing will definitely, this will be possible with this new thing that we're going to add here soon. It is possible to do it now. You can do it now. You just got to be very creative. Nobody's done it yet. I can do it. I just don't. I didn't have the technology to do it yet because I made the application to where now it's possible. The reason RS Tor's calculator is there now is now it's possible because now you can make a 3000. You can make a 3000 stage that goes to Mars because your launch date's I basically leave Earth, and as I've left Earth, I just burned literally 16 more to a minute and a half, depending on whatever. And guess what? It's over, rover. I already have my Mars encounter at 3000, so then I have my 4000 circularization, Delta V stage, and then bam, slam, I'm in, right? With this new calculator now, it is possible, dude. It is absolutely possible now to get to where you want to go. Now, Uranus's calculator is never been discovered before. So my Uranus calculations are not accurate. But if they were to be accurate, I would have gotten a job application, approval to NASA. So give me some time. All right, because it's not been done before. So I put it through a bunch of AI simulations and I got it to about 18% accurate, meaning that when you launch and you head over to Uranus, the planet, you perverts, you're just gonna have to scoochy it over just a little bit and then your window's right there. So it's not dead on the money, right? Mars, I know, is dead on the money. There's the calculated perfectly every time. Mercury's really not dead on the money. You're going to, listen, if you take off any time in rocket science, you decide to just hit launch and go, and you're not going to the moon, right? The moon is a matter of hours, that's fine, right? But if you decide to launch on just some random day to go to Mars, you're dumb. Because that's not how it works, right? You have to launch at the right time. At the right time, on the right day, in the right month. Or you're going to kiss your chances of seeing that planet goodbye. Like, it comes down to the actual minute. And what's great is in real solar system on KSP, they're not really scaling distance. So let me talk about that. Let me go to paint here. It's very basic. Right, here's space, okay? Here is Earth. Nope, that's blue. All right, here is Earth, okay? They've scaled in real solar system on Kerbal the size of Earth, okay? But when it comes to the moon is there, right? Cool. They do not scale the distance between the Earth and the moon because KSP's engine is only capable of doing so much. And if you played KSP, you understand. You understand what I'm talking about, right? And so they did to their best abilities, right? They did to their best abilities, but to their best abilities, this line to this line right here is a lot shorter than it should be. So in rocket science, okay, let's take the real scale of Earth and let me show you the difference. So this is the real scale of Earth. And this is the real distance scale to the moon. It's a lot bigger. So when you're talking about getting in KSP real solar system and taking off at random day and then sitting in solar, or lunar orbit, whatever you want to call it, around the sun. Right here, let me talk about that. Here's the sun. Here's a couple planets, right? We'll just put planet A, planet B, and then we'll have planet C, right? And these guys are all rotating around the sun, and there's you. You're rotating around the sun, okay? And then you wait 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 months, and then you relaunch again, right? Well, guess what? Now your potential for creating a craft that would have had a really, really, really fuel efficient effectiveness to go to that planet is now different, right? Now you have to use 4,865 exactly, because I've done all the tests, delta V to get to Mars. You have to, right? You absolutely have to. So what does that do? Well, that takes you another 4,000 to circularize around Mars. That's 8,000, okay? Versus if you had the correct day of launch, you sat in the orbit or you didn't sit in the orbit, right? For maybe, I don't know, 20 minutes or hell, 20 hours, right? You're going to get to Mars at 3,308 and have 4,000 to circularize. So let's do the math. That's 7,000, right? Versus 8,000. And when you're talking about being a small little probe in the middle of, the big old sun rotation, 1,000 is a lot. It is a lot. And TWR is really annoying because if you are, how TWR works in the sun, 0.01 is infinite to TWR infinite, right? So I will burn more fuel to increase my velocity to increase my change. Does that make sense? All right. This time you got an antivirus flag. Fuck. All right. I still need to fix that. Just allow it through your firewall. It's not a virus. I need to basically pi armor my script in the futures. It's 1,000,000% clean, dude. You can literally look at it. I'll show it to you on my computer. I'll show you it's raw. I can even break down the actual program for you if you'd like. Let me continue. Let me finish this first. So basically, you have infinite to infinite. Yeah, okay. Thank you. You have infinite to infinite. So your TWR will increase and continue to increase based off your velocity increase. Your velocity increase and your TWR increase is infinite as long as you're burning even just a little bit in solar, right? So if you have 3,000, you could just put this much gas through your thrusters and eventually you'd have a TWR to have enough change to get to Mars. So in retrospect, what does that mean? That means that you will, all right, have 8,000 delta V when you reach Mars if you burn efficiently. Okay? That's nuts, right? So then you have 8,000 to really, chill with. 0.78 is the required amount of TWR for a delta V1 and a delta V2 is 0.59 and a delta V3 when you're now around Saturn. So I'm going to make Saturn, okay? And I'm going to explain what your delta V's are here. That is a square. Here is Saturn, okay? You're approaching Saturn, okay? And we'll say you are the green ball, okay? You're just coming into getting an encounter, right? Your delta V1, right? We'll make our delta V yellow, right? This is going to be, again, 0.70. It's going to lower 60, right? and then 50, right? That's your time of influence, right? Or it's called an inverted gravity assist. And so there's two different types of gravity assist not a lot of people know about. Is you get the influence of the planet and then you yeet, okay? Let me explain it. So you come in, right? And you get the influence of the planet and you yeet. You don't even circularize. This is what I'm talking about. You come in and you immediately come out. All right? And to achieve that, and what those numerals are, is your delta V1 requirement, your delta V2 requirement, and your delta V3 requirement. But since you're already leaving, this would be your delta V1 requirement, right? Yes, SpaceX. Neptune is definitely strange. So expect Neptune to be weird because nobody has discovered it yet. And I did JSR's like supercomputer simulations and I'm still pounding that math. But if I get it, I will be the first person to publicly put that data out there, which is scary because I'm sure because NASA is planning to go back to Neptune this year. Spoiler alert, they probably already have found the calculations and they're not being talkative about it because they don't want other space agencies to know about it. Just saying. That was crazy yesterday in the stream when I almost did it. And I'm like 18% off inside of the application in the state that it's in now. Boom. It's insane. Anyway, delta V1, delta V2, delta V1. Right? Right. You understand that now. So what happens is your velocity, you come in, let's say we're going to go delta V. Let's put it, let's go here. Okay. And then let's circularize. Yeah. All right. We're circularizing here. Okay. Let me express. Let me express. All right. So you're coming in, your encounter here. It goes from, okay. I'm gonna make a big old circle. I'm gonna talk about it real quick here. Right. I'm gonna talk about why these delta V's are changing. We're going to talk about this green thing. This green circle is going to be the influence. In KSP, it's influence, right? But influence in KSP is like pretty weird. It's not really super like accurate, right? So this is accurate. Your influence. This planet will pull you in at a certain point, right? But not a lot of people know about velocity and how velocity changes that. Uh-oh. Yeah. You tried using the wrong box. Yeah. That's why I put the tutorial in there. There you go. And it's periods. We're using periods. So it'll be not slashes, but it'll be periods. So it'll be like, say we do 06 13 1544. It'd be 06.15.1544. You put your birthday in, yeah. And from your birthday, it tells you all of your encounter launch dates. That's actually the first 5. So if one doesn't work, or if one isn't working too well, or if you just I don't know. It's just 5 of them for you there. So you can maybe understand the pattern of Mars and study it. You know? I was like, 5 is better than 1. Let's go. You know? Yeah. So anyway, influence. I'm going to talk about it real quick because it's really important. If you have a delta V here, you're coming in, and we're just about to touch the delta V4. Okay? Delta V4 is no longer influenced as heavily based off velocity because velocity has now been controlled. Let me explain that in layman terms. It's like this in every orbit, okay? Delta V4, right? You've hit delta V4 when you're just about to leave a planet and you just turn around real quick and you come back. You've hit your delta V4. This is your delta V4 point. Your delta V4 point then directs your spacecraft's velocity into a certain law. No. SpaceX, the what you've inputted is the first one always. And I cannot change that mathematically. It has to be shown that. It has to be shown that. And I should have probably tell people that ASAP. I forgot about that. I'll just write it in the thread in a minute. Actually, yeah. Actually, if you could go to that thread and write it for everybody, that would be sweet. I'd love you right now. Yeah, no, not lucky you, unfortunately. But mathematically, I can't do it. Or orbital science. Like, let me show you. I'd let me open up you. Doing orbital mechanics science in inside of a script is extraordinarily intense. Right here, Saturn calculator. I'll break it down in term. In it, initialite loop, master, self-master, planet transfer calculator, quote unquote, this class. Calculate transfer window, input, self-input date. Without self-input date, it cannot translate its mathematical equation, and so it prints its work. As it prints its work, it's basically reversing the math to show you all of the sub results to get 5 results. So starting at this, your date that you input, starting at the second encounter, then to the third encounter date, in the fourth encounter date, in the fifth encounter date, is the only way we can possibly get those based off the mass definity calculation. For INA range 5, next days is 29.5 times 365. And then my class then calculates the mass of the planet. Let's do Control F and we'll do Mars. Where are you, Mars? Right here. And show Mars calculator def Mars. And this see planet where'd you go? Planet calculator, Pluto, def class. There it is. Nope, that's not it. Get, it'd be get. Right. Get, show, get. Right there. No, where'd it go? Where is it? Okay. Show planet selection, get, for each class. Self, get. Show calculation, get. Calculator, get. Widget, get. There it is. There it is. Create widgets, get. Entry dates, get. There it is. So with this mathematical formatting here, def calculate transfer window self, input dates equal, and then the string, right? The string to complete the mathematical equation to get these values, right? So each calculator uses the same mathematical, and each calculator class uses different data set for each planet's position. And this, all of this is just math, even though it looks like a bunch of insane input dates and stuff like that. But that's just math. Thank you, Space. I appreciate it. So that's how that works. It's like a 2-step program to like a 5-step. And the way I set it up is so I can add planets in the future, and I can edit their mathematical data evenly without having to if then, and then have a string of, you know, abilities. So if I did it if then, I'd have to change the entire script every single time I added a new calculator, and I'd have to change my loop. So it's basically, it's called classing, is when you create classes to class your program. It's better. So then, you know, when you hit the back button and go back a step, it doesn't just shut down the whole program. All right. So anyway, delta V4. Okay. Then you're on delta V. What is it? Delta V. Set law. Right. We're back on law. When you hit the law of the planet, right? Your delta V in your meters a second change. This is where it changes. You will either slow down, speed up, or do something strange, but it won't be as violent as it is in KSP. In KSP, they like to slow your ass down, so they're like, we'll give you a break, bro. You're doing just fine. We're gonna go ahead and let you just slow on down to a nice, comfortable speed. No. If I'm coming in at 35 kilometers a second, I'm going to be going around 9 to 10,000 meters a second, right? If I enter Mars, somewhere around that. And in KSP, they're like, I come in at 500,000 kilometers a second, no matter what. Whenever I enter that sphere of influence point, I'm good. You know, I'm slowed down to this static number that never changes, right? At least in KSP2, right? Unmodded, right? So you gotta really slow down before you get into this influence bubble. That's how you save fuel, right? Right. So if I am slowing down, my delta V1 slow down, delta V2 slow down, and delta V3 slow down, right? And I do 3 little delta V. What is a delta V? Delta V is I'm firing my rockets, okay? I'm facing away from the planet and I'm going psh, 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 right? At 3 different distances until the planet's influence then dictates my new speed, because I'm going to tell you why that's important. The planet's influence, as you get closer to it, it becomes harder to break. Does that make sense? I'm going to explain it one more time. If I'm closer to a planet, all right, it is harder to break the influence, right? We talk about pressure, right? Right. Think of it as pressure, but with no pressure. Let's talk about gravitational pressure, right? Yeah, now we're getting complicated. Now I need to stop, all right? Now I need to stop. Gravitational pressure. I'm not going to go into it, okay? But that's just a simplified version of it, right? So now that planet is pulling me in harder, and as I get closer to it, meaning that it's going to require more fuel to influence myself. I'm going to be influenced on that planet, right, by that gravitational pull a lot less than out here. So slowing down out here is pretty good. Don't slow down too much, or you might just go the other way. John, how you doing? Gravitational force, not so much about pressure, right? But I'm all right. So John, I love it when you come in here. I love it. So you want me to go full school? All right. Gravitational pressure. So planetary pressure. All right. What is a planet? All right. So when we go and we create all of this little blocks, okay, and we're gonna say that these are dirt, rocks, and shit, right? Okay. All right, dope. All right, cool. All right. And then something really, really heavy, okay, is right here. It starts pulling everything to this area, okay? It starts pulling everything to this area. And now, this is how we get ice 18. I'm going to talk about ice 18. Did you know that if you put water in such a pressurized zone, you just squeeze it super hard together, it turns into diamond. Okay? Okay, we're talking about pressures at a nuclear level. All right, that's what planets are. They're pressures at nuclear level. So when you're talking about gravity, right? Gravity is based off of the planet's pressure. So a bigger planet has a bigger pressure, right? And a smaller planet has a smaller amount of pressure, which then translates to gravity, right? Yeah. All right. Understand. Good. Got it. We all caught up. Good. All right. There. I explained it in a little bit more in depth. Not too hard. Okay. Didn't go super crazy. All right. So anyway, you're coming in. All right. You slowed down. All right. And now you're wrapping around the planet. The planet's laws now hit you with the new stature. This is what I am now. I'm this. Okay. Out here, I am this. Right? Out here, it's easier to move, to slow down, to increase speed. Out here, it's really good to do a slingshot or whatever you want to call it. Slingshot, if you want to call it a gravity assist, right? So you could use the planet to steer yourself to go into another direction. So you could say, I'm going to come in over here and then I'm going to burn and go out this way, right? That works. That's to like change your direction. But you could also do it. You could also do it right here. You could also do it right here. But every time you enter that field there, it gets really sketchy because now you hit this new law, and this law of me sucking it in and me going this way slows me down, right? So this is how you can do another gravity assist or another slingshot. You can just before the gravitational assist of the planet, right? In this area, go ahead and slingshot yourself out into another direction. So, I'm not losing all that speed once I hit that influence, right? And I can really save a lot of fuel. All right. So there are some things there that are really, really important to take into accountability whenever you're trying to maneuver through the solar system by using the planets as slingshots. You don't have to wrap around it. You know, you could bounce off this sphere here. It's possible. It works. And it's really cool once you see it and you do it. All right, anyway, moving forward, we have to come in and we have our delta V4, right? Then we come back to the planet's law. The planet's law then slows us to a certain velocity increase and decrease. Solar velocity, right, is infinite by 0.1 TWR, right? And out here before this influence, right, from right here, this went from 0.1 to 0.75, and then from here 0.85, and so on and so forth as you get closer to the planet. All right. So now this is now going to be set. Once you hit this threshold, it's going to be 75.0. Right? Mars is 75.0. Arguably 77 at the furthest point from the planet, but 75. You need a TWR to influence yourself against the planet's gravity of at least 75 to 77.0. Okay? You went from the 0 points to a point. Okay? Or sorry, you went from the 0 points to a non-zero point to a double digit. All right? Once you pass that threshold. That's bad, right? That's really bad trying to make maneuvers in here fuel-wise, right? Right? So we want to come in and land. All right, we want to come in and land. So before we get there, we want to really slow down. So then when this becomes point, I got to burn such a tiny little bit to just get that circularization. All right. This point right here is talked about in rocket science and is used in rocket science so much to save fuel. It's really cool. Anyway, so you come in, you do your burn that was a lot cheaper, right? Because you slowed down in your 3, 2, 1 delta V. Shoot, right? Boom, boom, boom. And then we do one final one once that planet has pulled us to the maximum velocity that we're going to get right here. Okay? The slowest point are opposed, right? Boom. Okay. Boom. We know we're going the slowest. If we're going the slowest, I'm going to explain that. When we look at here and here of an orbit, these are the points in which that you're going the slowest. These are the points in which that you burn to have the most effect of whatever the orbit change that you're trying to make. These 2 points. Doesn't matter which one, but exactly before, no. After, yes. After these points. Before, we'll change this point. After, we'll not change this point. Right? So after this point, I'm the slowest. I'm accelerating. All right? As I'm accelerating, I'm slowing down. Therefore, if I burn here, I'm accelerating, and slowing down. And if I'm slowing down while I'm accelerating, that's counterintuitive. Right? I'm not accelerating anymore at this point. So from right here to here would be a really good time to slow down, because what I'm doing is I'm slowing down as I'm slowing down. That's double intuitive, right? We're double intuitive at this point. We're going to slow down twice as much as if we were to start from here as we're accelerating, right? You slow down to speed up, and you speed up to slow down, right? So you come in here, and you do another efficient burn from right here to here. And, oh boy, I'm slowing down. And I'm triple slowing down because my TWR is going up, 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 up. Right? Well, it's not going up. It's going to 0, right? All right. Because, if I'm going 215, no, let's say I'm going 4,000, right? And I'm slowing down, right? I'm going 4,000, 3,000, 2,000. Well, my TWR over here on my launch stage will be lower, right? Because once this slingshots me at a slower speed, I'm going to then not come back as fast. That's how you efficiently, while you're slowing down, efficiently triple your fuel efficiency and do more to your craft. So then what happens? We get orbit around the planet. And we have a lot of fuel left over. And if you know how to land, you know how to land, right? And so what happens though, and not a lot of people know this real quick here. Let's take this orbit here. We've just circularized around the planet. Let me make it a circle, right? Let's take this point right here. We've circularized around the planet. All right. Now, we slowed down. We brought this sucker all the way down here. That's really good. Just above the atmosphere, 40,000 or so. 45, 46,000. Okay? This guy, though, is really far out. And I'm going to tell you why that's bad for you, specifically. It's bad for you because if I decide, right, to go back out, I'm going to re-accelerate as I come back in. So what I need to do is burn at this point, right, to shrink this down. This is as slow as I can possibly go, right? Because this planet is so, it can only be so big. I can't just shrink the planet for me to go as slow as I want. No. So this is as slow as you can go without hitting the atmosphere and then causing catastrophic failure of explosions of, heat and, particles hitting your aircraft, right? So this is as slow as I can get, but I know that this is how I get as slow as I can get, right? So how do we adjust that, right? So we adjust that by burning at this point and only at this point right here, as we are the slowest as we can possibly be, right? And that's going to triple the performance of this apogee over here, right? And now we've come into this position. We are as slow as we can possibly be. Now we choose where we want to land. We want to land on the daylight side of the planet, right? So we want to land on the daylight side of the planet. And so we'll say that the daylight side of the planet is this side of the planet, right? Just say that this side of the planet is the daylight side of the planet. So what we do is we slow down right here where my mouse is until we get a crash course towards the planet on the daylight side of the planet. And then we've landed on Mars, right? So that's it, And what you got to really worry about is this line right here. In planning your Delta V1, your Delta V2, and your Delta V3 before you get maximum influence of that planet that's pulling you in. John, if I am running really, really fast, okay, and I jump on a skateboard, okay, and the skateboard pushes me, right? Inertia from the skateboard pushes me, right? But say before I run really, really, really fast on the skateboard, I go ahead and I slow down. Before I jump on that skateboard. That skateboard's not going to push me as fast. That is what is the logic of what this is. This is why delta V1, delta V2, and delta V3. You slow down and you accelerate, and you slow down and you accelerate, and you slow down and you accelerate, versus accelerate, 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 right? Until you're locked into the acceleration law of the planet, right? So now you accelerate, but you're accelerating at a much lower speed. That saves you fuel. That's what I was explaining. Exactly, John. You got it. 100%. So I read your messages backwards. You do. So, John, there is a time and place to do a gravity assist around a planet. Especially if you're doing a gravity assist to try to slow down to get to a moon. That works. Or a moon that's, let's just put Mars's moon out here. Okay, Mars's moon is not round. Mars's moon it's actually a giant asteroid. And it's kind of a goofy looking moon, but it is what it is. This is Mars's moon. I know, it doesn't look like this. Anyway, you come in, right? You come in, and you want a slingshot to that moon. I'm going to explain it right now. So, you come in really, really fast, right? You come in really, really fast. You do your delta V1, your delta V2, and your delta V3. And you make sure that your path is set to slingshot to an encounter to the moon. The planet accelerates you right here, and you slow down, and you re-accelerate. Right? You re-accelerate beyond this point, and you go to the moon. So the planet slows you down once you hit this threshold to its law. Remember, to its law. Each planet has a different law. A velocity increase, TWR increase, that you can possibly go, right? It's locked in at a certain point to where the only time it would change drastically is if you were inside of its atmosphere or on the actual planet's, like crust, right? So here we go. We're going and we're zoom, right? But because we slowed down, right? Because we slowed down, we got that planet to bend us to its moon. That is a time that you would want to do that, right? Or you need to slow down because inside the solar system, you need a couple more months or days to make that adjustment, and you need to slow down so you don't miss that slingshot opportunity. So I'm going to slow down, right? And then my velocity is going to change as I'm leaving and going back out into the solar system to go to another planet, right? To go to another planet, to slingshot from that planet to this planet. I need to slow down though, right? For this specific route that I'm taking. So these are the two different scenarios, right? So you can slow down, right? We already talked about you can slow down by just simply, before you touch that influence, right? Before you touch that influence, this is the best way to slingshot, right? This is the most fuel efficient way to slingshot, is right before you touch that influence of the planet, that lock mode, right? That saves you the most fuel, right? But it also depends on your velocity, right? It also depends on your velocity. It also depends on what direction you want to slingshot to, because that's where it gets finicky. Most people right? Most missions are going to probably do something more of the lines of this, right? And that makes sense. They're going to use this to kind of slow down a little bit, you know? Or they might, you know, do this, right? Or they might, you know, do that. But that's going to be difficult if they're coming in too quickly. If they're coming in too quickly, right? It's going to require more fuel to make this kind of adjustment. So they're forced to then go into this influence just a little bit to slow themselves down to actually get that actual turn action right there. Right? Because if I'm going, let's say 34 kilometers a second, right? Okay. Oh boy, I'm gonna need to burn. We're gonna need to burn quite a lot to try to like really turn that, right? But I'm gonna have to turn a lot less, right? If I burn from right here on that influence. Like, okay. All right, now I'm going the direction I want to go. There's a lot to it, John. There's a lot to it. And the more you know, guys. The more you know. So again, Rocket Science Tour got its update. Its calculator is out. You guys can check it out. If you don't have Rocket Science, go to Steam, download it, and go ahead and plan your missions to Mars. You drop your rovers and have a good time. I'm gonna head out and get some food somewhere. I'm really hungry. It's like 4 degrees outside or something here. It's pretty cold. I don't know. Yeah, no, it's cold. It is cold. It's not negotiable. It's freaky outside right now. You guys stay warm wherever you are right now. We're having some sort of terrible, coldness. So make sure you bundle up and you have a bunch of things to eat and, I don't know. Get some chili. Chili is always good during these times. I do have a hat. I'm good. But I actually don't wear this in public, really, most of the time. I wear a different hat. But I wear my beads because my beads I'm Native American. This is a part of my culture, my religion. So I just moved my beads over to the new hat. But yeah, sweet. What I'll do is I will see you guys later. I want to go to Mars and test out my calculator's accuracy probably later today. And if you want to test out my calculator's accuracy, again, if you go to Steam, go over to Rocket Science, go get our game, right? Download it, install it, and then do a million freaking researches of like orbital science and then play it and then accomplish missions and have good time doing so. Go to the Discord in the main menu of the game, go to Rocket Science Tools and download my Rocket Science Tour application that I made specifically for Kerbal Space Program, Real Solar System calculating, and rocket science calculations, and have a blast. And the Rocket Science Tour application is full of all sorts of crazy scientific information about every single planet in the solar system. So why not? Right? That makes all your research a little bit less. We're trying to get into something as deep as rocket science. Awesome. Enjoy the rest of your day, morning, and afternoon. Here is a stupid moment. I literally mean this could be a really stupid moment. Enjoy. Look on it.
10. This is Mission Control Houston.
Roger roll, Discovery.
Discovery's roll maneuver is complete. It is now in a heads-down position on track for its flight to the International Space Station. Discovery flying 365 miles per hour, one and a half miles in altitude, 7 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center. Discovery's engines are throttling down as the orbiter passes through the area of maximum pressure on the vehicle.
Journey to shore up the International Space Station. Atlantis now in the proper alignment for its 8.5-minute ride to orbit, 4.5 million pounds of hardware and humans taking aim on the International Outpost. 30 seconds into the flight, Atlantis almost 2 miles in altitude, almost 6 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center already, traveling 500 miles an hour. The 3 liquid fuel main engines now throttling back to 72% of rated performance, going into the bucket, reducing the stress on the shuttle as it breaks through the sound barrier.
All systems on the spacecraft are go. 1.5 minutes since liftoff, Atlantis has already burned more than 2.25 million pounds of propellant and weighs less than half of what it did at launch. Atlantis altitude 84,000 feet, 12 miles northeast of the Kennedy Space Center. Atlantis speed now 2,200 miles an hour. Flight controllers are standing by for burnout and separation of the twin solid rocket boosters. Booster officer confirms a good separation and jettison of the twin solid rockets. Atlantis now in its second stage. Its 3 main engines continuing to operate well at full throttle.
Atlantis performance nominal.
And we see nothing that's abnormal whatsoever, Joey.